In international relations, or IR, the term global geographical division refers to the classification of the world into different regions or areas based not only on physical geography, but also on geopolitical, cultural, economic, and historical factors. These divisions are not just about where countries are on the map, but reflect how different regions interact and influence one another within the global political system. Understanding these geographical divisions helps IR scholars and policymakers analyze regional dynamics, conflicts, alliances, and power structures. Global North. The Global North generally refers to economically developed industrialized countries, mostly located in the Northern Hemisphere. It includes countries in North America, such as the United States and Canada, Europe, and parts of East Asia, like Japan and South Korea. These countries often dominate global politics and economics, thanks to their technological advancement, military power, and economic influence. Global South. The Global South, on the other hand, includes developing or less economically developed countries, typically located in the Southern Hemisphere. This includes regions in Africa, Latin America, and South Asia. These countries frequently face challenges like poverty, inequality, and underdevelopment. IR context. North-South divide. This North-South divide is essential in understanding global economic inequality, international trade patterns, and development policies. It also plays a key role in discussions on climate justice, foreign aid, and global governance. East and West. In IR, the term East traditionally refers to countries in Asia, including East Asia, the Middle East, and South Asia. During the Cold War, it also referred to the communist bloc led by the Soviet Union, China, and their allies. The West, by contrast, includes Western Europe and North America, especially during the Cold War, when the West represented capitalist democracies led by the United States and its NATO allies. IR context, East-West divide. The East-West divide symbolized the ideological struggle between communism and capitalism. Today, it still reflects differing political cultures, value systems, and global alignments, though the nature of the divide has evolved, especially with the rise of powers like China. Core and periphery. The term core refers to the most dominant industrialized countries, those that control global trade, investment, and the economic system. These include countries in North America, Western Europe, and parts of East Asia. The periphery consists of less developed countries that are economically dependent on the core, often providing raw materials and labor, while being more vulnerable to economic exploitation. IR context, world systems theory. This division comes from world systems theory, developed by Emanuel Wallerstein. It explains how economic and political power is concentrated in the core, while the periphery remains dependent. This framework is key to understanding global inequality, dependency, and post-colonial dynamics in IR. Geopolitical regions in IR also looks at specific geopolitical regions, each with its own political, economic, and security concerns. Let's go through them. North America, home to the US and Canada, this region is marked by economic dominance, technological power, and military strength. Europe, divided into Western Europe, linked to the EU and NATO, and Eastern Europe with historical ties to Russia. Europe plays a major role in diplomacy, economics, and security cooperation. Latin America includes Central and South America. This region faces developmental challenges, economic dependency, and sometimes political instability, but is significant in global trade, migration, and resource distribution. Middle East and North Africa, MENA, a region pivotal in IR due to its energy resources, religious conflicts, and strategic location. Key issues here include the Arab-Israeli conflict, the Iran-Saudi rivalry, and foreign intervention. Sub-Saharan Africa, rich in natural resources and shaped by a colonial legacy, this region remains central to debates around development, security, and peacekeeping. South Asia, comprising India, Pakistan, and Bangladesh, important due to nuclear tensions, economic growth, and regional security issues. East Asia, led by China, Japan, and South Korea. The rise of China has reshaped global power structures, with tensions around trade, military strategy, and US rivalry. Southeast Asia includes countries like Indonesia, Vietnam, and Thailand. The ASEAN organization here promotes regional diplomacy, trade, and conflict management. Oceania, made up of Australia, New Zealand, and the Pacific Islands. Australia and New Zealand are important Western allies in the Asia Pacific. The West, the rest. This phrase reflects a cultural and political divide between Western liberal democracies and non-Western countries. It's often used in discussions of civilizational values, international norms, and global alignments. First, second, and third world. These Cold War-era terms categorize countries based on political alignment and economic development. First world, Western, capitalist democracies. Second world, communist bloc led by the Soviet Union. Third world, non-aligned developing nations, mostly in the global south. While these terms are now outdated, they still influence how we think about global inequality and power divisions. Regional organizations in IR. Several organizations shape regional and global politics. European Union, EU, for political and economic integration in Europe. African Union promotes unity and development in Africa. ASEAN fosters cooperation in Southeast Asia. Mercosur, a Latin American trade bloc. Gulf Cooperation Council, GCC, a Middle Eastern alliance for political and economic cooperation. Strategic regions in IR. Certain regions are considered strategically vital in global politics. The Middle East, because of oil, religion, and conflict. The Asia Pacific, due to rising powers like China and growing economic influence. The Arctic, now important due to climate change, resource access, and new trade routes. Theoretical perspectives. Different IR theories use geography differently. Realism focuses on power and competition between states in key strategic areas. Liberalism highlights the role of institutions and cooperation across regions. Constructivism examines how regions form identities, like the West or the Islamic world, that shape global behavior. Conclusion. Global geographical divisions in IR provide a structured way to understand the complex interactions between states. They reveal how power, conflict, cooperation, and identity play out across different regions. By studying these divisions, we gain deeper insight into the patterns that shape the international system and the world we live in today.